Hi, I'm Bob Moncur and you're watching Newcastle Fans TV.
Hello everybody, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. We have defeated, do you want to call them the enemy? Aston Villa 2-0 at St James's Park. Yeah, we'll call them the enemy. Well, not Aston Villa itself, the fans. Had a little bit of banter over the years, sub on the time, ×2 and all of that. You know, a bit of hatred between the two rivals as well. So what we're going to do first, not going to do the lineups, what we're going to do first is we're going to have a look at we're going to have a look at the Gallagher flags, because we're sitting the Gallagher, so I've got a couple of videos to show you in a second. We're also going to hear from Rafa Benitez further on in the video as well. Of course, we'll have a look at the lineups in a moment, and we'll talk about the game and a couple of performances, and we'll talk about obviously Henri Lansbury and of course the Villa fans as well. So let's begin with the Gallagher flags. First of all, then, so I have to say, especially absolutely beautiful, chaotic, crazy, maniac scenes. It was absolutely picturesque. The more the merrier. I know it took a lot for obviously to put together, and hopefully, and I might say another part of the ground might add on to it next season, perhaps. Maybe the East End will carry it on because it goes over at the corner, you know. So really nice to see. I mean, some of the scenes that you can see on your screen are absolutely phenomenal, especially the giant like flag, the waiver flag as well, and it's putting Newcastle on the map. And you've got to, and of course, fans who have funded it have got to give themselves credit as well as the Gallagher flags. Marvellous piece of work that the lads are doing. You know, I've got nothing but respect, and everybody loves that. You know. Right, okay, so what we'll do is move on to the lineups next. You can tell I'm happy, but I'm knackered at the same time. It's 3:30 in the morning doing this video. So let's look at the lineups. We'll begin with the away side first. So I got 8 out of 11 correct for Villa when I done the preview. So they went Johnson in goal, Hunt at right back, Chester and Elphick in the middle, Taylor at left back, Jednak and Hurricane were the two defensive midfielders, and then you had Lansbury, Bjarnason, and then Kodja was out on the left trying to come in, and then Hogan up top as well. Let's look at Newcastle. I got 10 out of 11 right. The only one I didn't was Army coming in for Perez. So it was Darlow in goal, Yedlin at right back, Lascelles and Clark at centre back, Dummett at left back, Ritchie on the right, Shelvey and Colback in the middle, Gouffran on the left, Diarmi and Gale up top. When I seen the Gouffran goal go in, I thought it was perfect timing. Against the run of play, I have to admit it. And then I seen it go in, and I was like, fantastic timing. It was a bit of ping pong because I'm obviously at the other end of the Gallagher end. I can't say that far over on the camera, you know, because I was doing the match experience. And there's a bit of ping pong all over the place, and then seeing Gouffran run off and celebrate out of the moon, you know, we're 1-0 up, and he's off celebrating. The Gallagher end is going nuts, waving the scarves as well. Great scenes as well. And then went into the break 1-0 up, you know, and you're thinking, right, we've got the goal, we've surely got to play a little bit better second half, let's go and get that second goal, you know. And we'll come out in the second half, looked a complete different side. I don't know what happened to Villa. Their attacking force went literally nowhere. I mean, I know Hogan got injured later on in the game, but you barely seen him. I think their threat was mostly Kodja. So obviously Newcastle were threatening, had a couple of half chances, and then we're going to talk about obviously Henri Lansbury now, and then the man of all things, the man that he didn't want himself to happen, goes and scores an own goal. And he got taunted for about the next 10 to 15 minutes. Henri Lansbury is you know the word. He robbed us of 3 points and 2 men. Literally cost with the game. We don't think that'll probably affect Newcastle, but you don't like seeing players cheating, you know. The FA rescinded obviously the cards, as you know. So that was absolutely really nice to see. And I was looking at Shelvey thinking, is Shelvey going to cope? Is Shelvey going to cope with going up against Lansbury? They didn't actually like come together. Barely. I think I've seen it once in the whole of the game. They kept well apart from each other. Maybe that's in both the players' minds. Maybe their fate had a word with them. Maybe it's their managers. Probably a mixture of a bit of everything, you know. But obviously that was interesting. Shelvey kept his head, and absolutely brilliant to get one over. So yeah, the game kind of died off after about 70 minutes. Newcastle, I think, were just settling for the win. It seemed they were sitting a little bit further back. And we came out 2-0 winners, absolutely over the moon. The bit of a carry on outside just after the match with obviously, I think it was mostly the kids, to be honest, mostly the teenagers were just trying to wind up Villa fans saying you're going down, you're going down. It all started, we were doing a bit of the fan cams, we were interviewing a few of the kids, which are obviously, it's on the channel as well. Have a look at this.
I was worried that he wasn't going to keep his head.
And they're at it again. This is absolute. This is mental. This is what. Let's.
But yeah, that it all kicked off, and then the police were forced in. Just a bit of a carry on. I mean, the Villa fans. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't like Villa fans just because of the fact that when we were relegated in the 08 or 09 season when Duff scored the own goal, they literally, instead of most fans would be sympathetic and clap you off or something, they literally ripped into it. I don't know why. I don't know what the agenda was. And then when we weren't relegated when we played Villa last season. We were close to being relegated, depending on Sunderland's game. We're doing 0-0, and then they brought it out again. I don't get it. Do they not like we? Are they envious? I don't know. Villa fans, if you're watching, tell us. I didn't get it. And when we won, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for that result to come through for 9 months for a get a win. I know we're unbeaten 11 games against them, which is nice. But you know what it is. I'm not going to lie, I absolutely fucking loved it. And the chaos outside the ground, actually, I quite liked it a little bit, you know. Maybe that's just me being a little bit bitter because what they put the banners out. Rafa Benitez, we're also going to hear from him in just a second. We know that Dwight Gale was subbed off, which is a bit of a concern for Gale going off in the first half. Maybe it was a risk starting him, but Rafa took that risk. I have to say, obviously, Mitrovic played quite well. We'll come on to players in a moment. But this is Rafa's take on the game.
It wasn't always pretty, but another very big 3 points tonight.
Yeah, it's true. We said before that it could be a tough game, and it was tough. So we needed to score the goals, to have more space, more time on the ball, better possession, and it was what happened. So we said that they are a good team with good players with quality, with experience, and at the beginning we could see that it would be difficult. And I think that they prove again how difficult is the championship and how important it is to stay focused for every game. We have had a lot of good games that we didn't win because something happened, or we didn't win, something happened, a late goal, or the keeper was man of the match. So sometimes you have to win even not playing really well in the first half, but it's like this, so get 3 points and then start thinking about the next game.
So that was Rafa, pretty much happy with the 3 points. Let's have a look at the league table. Where does that put us? So looking at the league table now, we're back top of the league. Obviously Brighton won over the weekend and we've now went back top. We're on 69 points. Obviously Huddersfield a few points behind us, but they've got the game in hand, haven't they? So it's still a little bit tight. I think the 3 points against Bristol City is a must, because then you've got them horrible 3 fixtures coming up, the away ones, which is like, I don't know which order it's in. It's Reading, it's Huddersfield, it's Brighton. It's one of those. It might be that order, who knows? But some difficult fixtures coming up, you know. So what we're going to move on to now is just a couple of player performances. I have to say Jamal Lascelles was back to one of his better performances. I'd probably give Lascelles an 8. He was up there. Matt Ritchie got official man of the match. I think he was busy. I think I'll give him an 8. I think Diarmi looked a little bit more up for it. I think there's still a lot more to come from Diarmi, but we always say that, don't we? He looks a little bit more up for it. Gouffran, despite his goal, I think Gouffran had quite a disappointing game. Colback was alright. He's given the ball away a couple of times, but he's winning the ball back as well. Who else? Yedlin was alright. Dummett was alright. Clark was alright. Dummett. Darla was okay. Atsu was brought on quite late, which I was a little bit disappointed about. I was wanting to see Atsu a little bit more. His future remains in doubt because he's had a lot of substitute appearances. So we'll have to see how that goes with Atsu. I personally don't think we'll sign him now. But you know, we've got 3 points. It doesn't matter that we didn't play the greatest. No, we didn't. But we've got the 3 points. We'll move on. We'll obviously start looking at Bristol City in the next couple of days. The 4 fan cams with all the young uns are on there as well. We'll try and get some older people at the Bristol City game on the weekend. But thank you very much for watching the review, and get yourself over the website. Obviously we'll do articles, and of course, if you want to write for us, let us know. And of course, follow our social media where we'll update the Facebook every day, and Twitter's updated every day too. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.